Greetings, my fellow explorers of the human condition, and welcome to another thought-provoking episode of the Clockwork Eye. Today, we take an in-depth look into the profound and often unsettling ideas of the great philosopher Friedrich Nietzsche, focusing on his conception of mankind as the most domesticated animal and the implications of this view for our understanding of ourselves and our place in the world. Join me on this intellectual odyssey as we explore the philosophical, psychological, and sociological dimensions of Nietzsche's provocative insights and contemplate the path toward the Übermensch, or the higher man. At the heart of Nietzsche's philosophy lies a deep concern with the state of modern humanity and the forces that have shaped our development as a species. In his groundbreaking work, Thus Spoke Zarathustra, Nietzsche introduces the concept of the Übermensch, a figure who represents the pinnacle of human potential, a being who has overcome the limitations and constraints of conventional morality and embraced a life of self-mastery and creative self-expression. But to understand the Übermensch, we must first grapple with Nietzsche's critique of the herd mentality that he believed had come to dominate modern society. In his book, Beyond Good and Evil, Nietzsche argues that the rise of Judeo-Christian morality and the democratic ideals of the Enlightenment had led to a taming and domestication of the human spirit. He writes, "The domestication, the culture, of man does not go deep. Where it does go deep it at once becomes degeneration, type, the Christian. The savage man, or, in moral terms, the evil man, is a return to nature, and in a certain sense his recovery, his cure from culture." For Nietzsche, the herd morality of modern society, with its emphasis on humility, compassion, and self-denial, represented a weakening and dilution of the primal vitality and instinctive drive that had characterized earlier, more savage forms of human existence. From a philosophical perspective, Nietzsche's critique of domesticated humanity can be seen as a radical challenge to the prevailing assumptions of Western moral philosophy. By questioning the value of traditional virtues such as compassion and selflessness, Nietzsche sought to clear the way for a new kind of human being, one who would embrace life in all its complexity and contradiction, and who would have the courage to create their own values and meaning in a world without inherent purpose or direction. As he famously declared in Thus Spoke Zarathustra, "I teach you the Übermensch. Man is something that shall be overcome. What have you done to overcome him?" But Nietzsche's vision of the Übermensch was not merely a philosophical abstraction, it was also a deeply psychological portrait of the kind of individual who could rise above the limitations of the herd mentality and achieve genuine self-mastery. Drawing on his background in classical philology and his keen insights into the workings of the human psyche, Nietzsche argued that the path to the Übermensch required a ruthless self-examination and a willingness to confront the darker aspects of one's own nature. As he wrote in Ecce Homo, "One must be honest in intellectual matters to the point of harshness to so much as endure my seriousness, my passion. One must be accustomed to living on mountains, to seeing the wretched ephemeral chatter of politics and national egoism beneath one." For Nietzsche, the domestication of humanity was not merely a philosophical or psychological problem, but a deeply sociological one as well. He saw the rise of mass society and the increasing standardization and homogenization of human life as a threat to the kind of individual greatness and creativity that he believed was essential for the flourishing of culture and the advancement of the species. In On the Genealogy of Morality, he writes, "The democratic idiosyncrasy which opposes everything that dominates and wants to dominate, the modern misarchism, to coin an ugly word for an ugly thing, has permeated the realm of the spirit and disguised itself in the most spiritual forms to such a degree that today it has forced its way, has acquired the right to force its way into the strictest, apparently most objective sciences." Against this backdrop of cultural decadence and decline, Nietzsche envisioned the emergence of a new kind of human being, one who would have the strength and the courage to resist the pressures of conformity and mediocrity and to embrace a life of Dionysian creativity and self-overcoming. The Übermensch, as Nietzsche conceived it, was not a fixed ideal or a static goal to be achieved, but rather an ongoing process of self-transformation and self-creation, a perpetual striving towards ever higher forms of existence. As he declared in Thus Spoke Zarathustra, "I love those who do not first seek behind the stars for a reason to go under and be a sacrifice, but who sacrifice themselves to the earth, that the earth may one day belong to the Übermensch." But the path to the Übermensch is not an easy one, and Nietzsche recognized that it would require a radical rethinking of our most cherished values and beliefs. In a world that celebrated equality, humility, and self-abnegation, the Übermensch would stand as a provocative challenge, a figure of Promethean defiance and Dionysian excess. As Nietzsche wrote in The Gay Science, "I am by far the most terrible human being that has ever existed. This does not mean that I shall not be the most charitable. I know the joy of destruction to a degree corresponding to my strength for destruction." For Nietzsche, the domestication of humanity was not an inevitable fate, but a choice that we make as individuals and as a society. By embracing the herd mentality and the values of the domestic animal, we risk sacrificing the very qualities that make us human: our creativity, our individuality, our will to power. But by daring to break free from the constraints of convention and to forge our own path, we open up the possibility of a new kind of existence, one that celebrates the primal vitality and the Dionysian spirit that lies at the heart of the human experience. So, my dear Clockwork Eye viewers, I invite you to reflect on Nietzsche's provocative vision of the Übermensch and the domesticated animal within us all. Do you feel the pull of the herd mentality in your own life, the pressure to conform and to fit in? Or do you sense a deeper calling, a yearning for something more authentic and alive? Share your thoughts and experiences in the comments below, and let us explore together the challenges and the possibilities of Nietzsche's radical philosophy. And as always, don't forget to like and subscribe to the Clockwork Eye for more mind-expanding journeys into the realms of philosophy, psychology, and the human experience. Remember, in the words of Nietzsche himself, you must have chaos within you to give birth to a dancing star. Let us embrace the chaos within ourselves, and never cease to strive for the greatness and the beauty that lies just beyond the horizon. Until next time, my fellow travelers on the path of self-discovery, keep questioning, keep creating, and keep reaching for the stars. This is your friend Frank at the Clockwork Eye, signing off. Cheerio.